Most men think intimacy begins in the bedroom, but the truth is, it begins long before you ever get there. It begins in the quiet, almost invisible moments that most men rush right past without realizing what they are walking away from. Thoughtful. Here is something that changes the way you think about connection entirely. It is not what you do that a woman remembers. It is how she felt when you did it. And the men who understand that difference, the men who have learned to slow down, to be genuinely present, to approach a woman with real intention rather than urgency, those are the men she cannot stop thinking about long after the moment has passed. Today, we are going to talk about 7 specific moments, 7 areas of connection that, when approached the right way, do not just create physical attraction, they create emotional memory. The kind of memory that stays with her not for days, but for years. The kind she describes to her closest friend, not because something dramatic happened, but because something genuinely real did. And I want to be clear about what this is and what it is not. This is not a list of techniques to memorize or moves to execute. This is a conversation about presence, about what it means to be fully, genuinely, unhurriedly here with someone. Because when you are truly present, when she feels that you are actually paying attention to her specifically, that you are not performing and not rushing toward an outcome, something opens in her that most men never get to experience. Stay with me through all 7, because what we are building toward is not just a better understanding of attraction. It is a completely different way of showing up in every connection you have. Intro. Welcome back to Secrets Inside the Mind. I am Liza. Every single day on this channel, we have honest, real conversations about human psychology, attraction, and the truths about connection that most people never say clearly. If you are not subscribed yet, please do that right now and turn on your notifications. I post every day, and I genuinely want you here for every conversation. Now let us get into this. The foundation. Why presence is more powerful than technique. Before we get to the 7 moments, I need to lay one foundation that makes everything else make sense. The reason most men fail to create deep emotional connection with women has almost nothing to do with what they do. It has everything to do with why they do it and how present they are when they do it. Think about the difference between 2 men in the same moment. Both lean in close to a woman they care about. Both do the same physical thing, but one is thinking, what should I do next? Is this going well? What does she think of me? And the other is simply there, noticing her, feeling the moment, not anywhere else mentally, just present. She will feel the difference immediately, not consciously. She will not think I can tell he is overthinking this, but her nervous system will register it. His energy will feel uncertain, performed, slightly off, and the other man, the one who is simply present without agenda, his energy will feel grounding, safe, real. Neuroscience supports this completely. Touch that is delivered with genuine calm and intentional presence activates completely different neurological responses than touch delivered with tension or urgency. The same physical gesture creates a profoundly different emotional experience depending entirely on the inner state of the person delivering it. This is why memorizing techniques never works the way men hope it will. The technique is not the point. The presence behind it is the point. With that foundation in place, let us talk about the 7 moments. Subscribe reminder. Before we get into the first moment, please subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind right now. I am Liza. I post every single day, and every video is a real, honest conversation about human psychology and connection. Hit that button and let us get into this. Moment 1. The nape of her neck, where trust begins. The first moment is one of the most powerful and most consistently overlooked places where genuine connection can be created. The nape of the neck, just beneath the hairline, just above where the shoulders begin. This area is neurologically remarkable. It is rich with nerve endings connected to the parts of the brain responsible for emotional memory, which means that a moment created here does not just create sensation, it creates an imprint, a specific emotional memory tied directly to how she felt in that moment with you. But here is what most men miss about this specific area: it is a place she cannot see. When you are behind her, when you gently move her hair aside and pause, just pause, before doing anything, you are asking for something that goes beyond physical proximity. You are asking for trust, because she cannot see you. She can only feel your presence. And what she feels in that moment, whether your energy is rushed and purposeful or calm and simply there, will determine whether she leans in or subtly pulls back. The approach here is everything, not the action itself, but the quality of attention leading up to it. You are standing close. The conversation has quieted naturally. You gently move her hair aside, not quickly, not dramatically, but with the kind of deliberate slowness that communicates I am not in a hurry. And then you pause, just for a moment. Simply be there. A woman once described a moment that she said she had never forgotten. She was standing in the kitchen with someone she cared about. Nothing special happening, no planned romantic moment. He simply moved her hair aside and kissed the back of her neck slowly, without rushing. She said, "It was not the kiss, it was the pause before it. Like I mattered in that specific moment more than whatever came next." That pause. That is what creates the imprint, not the technique, the presence. Moment two, just behind her ear, where closeness lives. The second moment is one that requires even more subtlety, and that subtlety is precisely what makes it so powerful. Just behind the ear is where whispers live, where something shared between two people becomes private, where the public world fades and something personal takes its place. Psychologically, when your presence moves close to this area, even before any touch happens, her body becomes aware of you in a heightened way. There is anticipation, a quiet awareness, because this is not a place that belongs to casual interaction. This is intimate space, and when you enter it with the right energy, unhurried, warm, genuine, her nervous system responds to that intimacy before anything physical even occurs. What you say in this moment matters far less than how you say it. You might simply whisper her name. You might say something honest and unrehearsed. I really enjoy being with you, not as a line, as a truth, because authenticity is what creates the response you are looking for. Performance creates distance. Truth creates closeness. Here is something worth sitting with. When was the last time you slowed down enough to truly notice someone? Not just look at them, but actually notice them. The way they breathe, the way they respond to things, the way they soften when they feel genuinely safe. That level of attention is extraordinarily rare, and because it is rare, it is among the most attractive things a person can experience. A husband once described what kept his marriage deeply connected after 30 years. He did not talk about grand vacations or dramatic moments. He said simply, I never stopped whispering to her, like she was the most important person in the room. That is what this moment is about, not a technique, an orientation toward her, specifically, consistently. Moment 3, her inner wrist, where you meet her rhythm. This is the moment that most surprises people when they truly understand what is happening psychologically. The inner wrist is delicate. The skin there is soft in a way that most of the body is not. And just beneath that skin, you can feel her pulse, her actual rhythm, the quiet biological signal of her inner state. When you are holding her hand and you gently bring her wrist toward you, there is already a sense of intimacy in that movement alone. But when you pause and place a soft, unhurried kiss on that inner wrist, something completely different is communicated than anything that has come before. You are saying without words, I notice the small things. I am not rushing past you. I am here with you right now in this specific moment, and I find that worthwhile. Research in psychology consistently shows that this kind of touch that is tender, specific, and clearly connected to genuine attention rather than urgency, activates areas of the brain associated with empathy and emotional attunement. You are not just creating physical sensation, you are creating the felt experience of being genuinely cared for. A woman once described the moment she felt truly connected to someone for the first time. It was not during a romantic dinner. It was not during a dramatic moment. They were having a conversation. His hand was holding hers, and without interrupting what she was saying, without making it a moment, he simply brought her wrist to his lips for just a second. She said, "It felt like he was listening to me with more than his ears, with his whole presence." That is the distinction that matters, not what happened, how she felt while it was happening. Subscribe reminder. We are halfway through, and the moments still ahead go even deeper. The final one especially. Before we get there, please subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind if you have not already. I am here every single day, and I want you here for all of it. Moment 4. The hollow of her collarbone, where you honor her. We move now to an area that carries both physical and symbolic significance, and the distinction between the two is what most men miss entirely. The hollow of the collarbone sits close to her heart, literally and figuratively. It is a place of quiet vulnerability, not dramatic vulnerability, quiet vulnerability, the kind that she does not announce, but that is present in the softness of that space. When a woman allows you into this area, even subtly, it almost always means that trust has already been established in the moments before, which is why this is not a moment you can jump to. It is a moment you arrive at, after the presence you brought to the earlier moments has already done its work. When the timing is right, when there is already a quality of calm and ease between you, approaching this area with slow, respectful, genuinely unhurried attention communicates something that a woman described to me with one specific word. She said, "It felt like he was honoring me, not trying to impress me, not performing, honoring." That word says everything, because that is the experience you are creating when you approach this space the right way. Not taking something, not escalating toward an outcome, simply acknowledging that she is worth slowing down for, worth being present with, worth honoring in this quiet, specific moment. And when a woman feels honored, not flattered, not impressed, but genuinely honored, something in her relaxes that most men never get to see relax. Moment 5, the inside of her elbow, the unexpected gesture. This one surprises people, and that surprise is precisely the point. The inside of the elbow is not an area anyone would expect to be significant. It is overlooked, unremarkable in ordinary interaction, slightly hidden even, but sometimes the most powerful moments of connection come from the most unexpected places, because when something unexpected happens, when someone does something that breaks the predictable pattern of what you thought would come next, your mind pauses, your attention sharpens, you become present in a way that familiar things do not require you to be. When you are close together, perhaps sitting side by side, arms naturally near each other, and instead of moving past that proximity, you stay there, and you trace your attention slowly down her arm and bring your lips for just a brief, soft moment to the inside of her elbow. The message is not in the specific location. The message is in what your choice of that location communicates. It says, "I am not following a script. I am not doing what I think I am supposed to do. I am paying attention to you specifically. I am curious about you. I am present enough in this moment to notice something that most people walk right past. And that feeling of being truly noticed by someone who is genuinely paying attention is one of the most quietly profound things a person can experience. She feels not just touched, but seen, not just desired, but genuinely attended to, and that distinction is everything. Moment 6. Her waist and hips, where acceptance is felt. We arrive now at moments that require more than physical awareness. They require emotional intelligence. The waist and hips are areas that for many women carry genuine vulnerability, not primarily physical vulnerability, but emotional vulnerability. These are spaces often connected to self-image, to the quiet insecurities most people carry but rarely voice, which means your approach here communicates something louder than anything you could say. This is not where you begin. This is where you arrive. After trust has been established, after she already feels seen and safe and genuinely accepted, only then does your presence in this space feel like what it is meant to feel like. When you approach her waist and hips with calm, unhurried hands, not grabbing, not rushing, but resting, allowing your touch to simply be there without demanding anything, the message your body communicates is simple and profound. I accept you exactly as you are, not a version of you, not a modified or improved version. You, right now, exactly as you are in this moment. A woman once described the first time she truly relaxed with someone. He placed his hand on her waist and simply left it there. No movement, no pressure, just presence. She said, "For the first time I did not feel like I had to adjust myself. I did not feel like I had to hide anything. That is the experience you are creating, not attraction in the surface sense, acceptance. And acceptance is what makes a woman feel safe enough to be completely herself. And when she can be completely herself with you, that becomes the relationship she does not want to leave." Moment 7. Her lower back, the quiet support. And now we arrive at the final moment, the one that requires no romantic framing, no specific atmosphere, no special timing, the one that can happen in the most ordinary of circumstances and carry the most meaning precisely because of that. A hand placed gently on her lower back. Here is why this specific gesture carries such profound psychological weight. The lower back is the physical center of the body. It supports her posture, her movement, her sense of physical groundedness. But it also, for many women, carries something emotional. It is where the body holds tension, where the quiet weight of everything she manages and navigates in her daily life tends to accumulate. When your hand rests there, softly, steadily, without pressure or agenda, you are not just making contact with a part of her body, you are saying something specific. You do not have to hold everything alone right now. I am here. You can breathe. And that message, felt through the steadiness and warmth of your hand rather than spoken in words, can be more grounding than almost anything you could say. A woman once described walking into a crowded room where she felt slightly out of place, slightly uncertain. The man she was with placed his hand on her lower back as they walked in together. She said it was not about the touch. It was the feeling that I was not alone in that room, that someone was simply there beside me. That is it. That is the entire psychology of this gesture in one sentence. Not a technique, not a move, simply the physical expression of being beside someone, of being present with them, of saying through your body what words often cannot say as clearly, "I am here with you." Bringing it all together. Let me bring all 7 moments together, because the thread connecting them is the most important thing in this entire conversation. The nape of her neck, where trust begins in the pause before anything else. Behind her ear, where closeness becomes personal and the public world fades. her inner wrist, where you meet her rhythm and show her you notice the small things, the hollow of her collarbone, where you honor her presence rather than taking from it, the inside of her elbow, where the unexpected gesture proves you are genuinely paying attention, her waist and hips, where acceptance is communicated and she feels safe to be entirely herself, her lower back, where a quiet, steady hand says everything presence can say. Every single one of these moments is an opportunity, not to perform, not to impress, not to execute a technique correctly, but to be genuinely, fully, unhurriedly present with another person. And here is the most important thing I want you to take from this conversation. Years from now, when someone looks back on their time with you, they will not remember every detail. They will not remember every word or every specific moment, but they will remember how they felt, whether they felt rushed or relaxed, whether they felt judged or accepted, whether they felt like just another moment or like someone who truly mattered to you. And that is shaped entirely by the quality of presence you brought. So the next time you find yourself in a quiet moment with someone, do not think about what you are supposed to do next. Just be there, notice her, feel the moment instead of trying to manage it. Slow down by just a little, because that slight slowing, that 10% more presence, is what transforms an ordinary moment into one she carries with her, not because something perfect happened, because something real did. Outro. Connection is not built through grand gestures. It is built in these small, specific, completely intentional moments where someone chooses to slow down and truly be present with another person. Now I want to hear from you. Has someone ever created a moment with you that seemed small at the time, but stayed with you long afterward? What was it about that moment that made it unforgettable? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and I genuinely care about what you share. If this video gave you something real today, please give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind if you have not already. I am here every single day. I am Liza. I will see you tomorrow.